Hello my dear friends, you're in the Military Summary channel. In this short video we're going to discuss the most important events that took place on Kherson and Zaporozhye front lines during the previous 12 hours. And probably the most important update is coming from, of course, as usually, from the Bradley Square. But first, before this, we will discuss the situation on the ground. I would like to discuss with you one video that we have already discussed a few days ago, and not just we, but probably the entire internet was discussing that situation. And currently, I'm talking about the video that took place in the vicinity that we discussed. That this video belonged to the area in the vicinity of Robotyne, about the results of the tank battles. We remember the video when the Ukrainians was trying to attack and storm the Russian positions. The Russians sent their own tanks, and as a result of fierce clashes, the Russians managed to destroy a significant number of Ukrainian tanks. And after that, there was another video from the same area. And what is important regarding this situation? First of all, that some Russian sources made some kind of investigation regarding this battle, and they published a very interesting piece of information. According to this source, that battle, at least the second video, this one, took place not in this area and not even in this year. I believe you remember this video, we discussed this video, many channels discussed this video, and many of the sources based on that video made their own speculations and projections, so I believe that you need to know this. So according to the Russian sources, that battle took place in the 2022 in the vicinity of Nikolaev area during the battle of Nikolaev and during the Ukrainian counteroffensive operation. And this video was geolocated. This video is from archive. We see our intersection of the forest lines in this area. So basically that event took place here and a year ago. So this is the situation regarding that video and that battle. Now let's continue about the situation on the ground. The Russians continue bombing and shelling the accumulation of Ukrainian forces along the entire Kherson area. Today we got the video how the Russians bombed the Ukrainian positions in the small settlement in the vicinity of Kazatsky, Berislo, in front of Kazachie Lagery. Probably the Ukrainians were accumulating another wave of their forces in this area, will attempt to make another landing operation on the Russian bank of the river, but the Russians probably discovered that area and bombed. Or basically the Russians had a goal to destroy every single building and just to reduce the positions that the Ukrainians can use for hiding their equipment. And now we're moving to one more time to the Bradley Square. The Ukrainians continue their offensive operation, and there are still very fierce clashes in the north, in Robotyne, in the central part of Robotyne. The Russians still control the settlement. Yesterday in the evening there was one update that, according to some Russian sources, not very reliable, the Russians were forced to step back and withdraw their positions. Maybe it's true. For now it's very difficult to understand, because we remember the special operation that the Russians tried to implement in Robotyne, when they basically were removing their forces, but they were telling the Weber that they are still there. So maybe the situation in Robotyne is the same. The Russians started withdrawing their positions. According to the Russian sources, the Ukrainians start using their last reserves. So anyway, no matter whether the Russians are leaving Robotyne or not, according to a lot of Russian sources, different sources that are not connected to each other, the Ukrainians involved the final and the last reserves to attack in direction of Robotyne. And I'm not surprised, because as if you remember, yesterday we discussed that on the 24th of September, in September, the Ukrainians and the Western countries are going to make another meeting in Rammstein format, where they will discuss the situation, the plans, where they will discuss how the Russian-Ukraine offensive operation passed, what did they do wrong, what was mistake, what kind of mistake they made, and so on. And probably we currently were the witnesses of the final part of the Ukrainian offensive operation, and if they're able to take something before the end of August, this is going to be their final results in this part of the special military operation From the Russian side, we see that, as you know, the Ukrainians control some fields between the settlements. The Russians brought as close as possible their TOS flamethrower system to the combat line, and currently, the previous 24 hours, the Russians were bombing and attacking the Ukrainian positions in their trenches with those flamethrower systems, which of course led to significant losses from the Ukrainian side. Furthermore, we got another video of another attempt to attack with the Ukrainian forces to bring some reserves and reinforcements in the vicinity of Robotyne, and on this video we see at least two M113s personal armored carriers. At least we can see one Striker destroyed and at least one Leopard destroyed. It's from the new collection, let's call it like this. So the clashes continues, but probably the next few days is going to be the most important one, and the Ukrainians will send everything they have with the purpose to capture the settlement, the small settlement Robotyne. Also, a few updates regarding the situation with the F-16s. Yesterday we discussed that the Ukrainians will get a lot of around 61 F-16s units, but today we got more updates that Ukrainians will receive these aircrafts, but within the next few years. The last F-16s the Ukrainians will receive in 2025. So as you can see, according to this piece of news, the Ukrainians are planning to continue this war, and this special note, this war in the Western countries, not just in the 2024, but they also have some plans for the 2025. Furthermore, some source reported that as a result of furious clashes in Ukraine since the beginning of the special military operation, around 10,000 Polish volunteers and mercenaries were killed. And that's it for a short update regarding Kherson and Zaporozhye. Military Summer channel reminds to condemn any violence in the world. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to my channel, put your likes, join my Patreon, and have a good day. Bye bye.